know where you're joining from? Please drop in the chat where you're joining from. Yes, I'm wearing like a mask, ready to unmask. I've got my guest here, YBB. I'm so excited to have her here and can't wait to hear her. And I know most people are also expectant. And so I'm just going to read her profile and just welcome her to take over. Yesterday, Bankole Bernard, popularly known as YBB, is the Chief Experience Officer at the YBB Company, a reinvention agency helping organizations and individuals reimagine identity, communication, and brand presence. With over 20 years of experience, she is known for guiding executives and teams through strategic reinvention. She also serves as an executive director at Finch Glow Holdings, leading brand experience across 6 companies in the travel and aviation space. YBB is the co-founder of Find Your Next Self, a signature retreat for high performers in transition, and Magnetism 10X, a 6-week coaching program on presence, persuasion, and personal power. She teaches on authenticity, personal brand, and magnetic leadership. YBB is a GAIA Africa founding member and fellow of the Institute of Management Consultant. Please join me as I welcome YBB. Welcome. Please drop your emojis in the chat as you welcome YBB.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Madam She Blooms, for having me here. It's an honor and it's a privilege. I am thoroughly excited to be here tonight. First off, some announcement spoilers. I am in the UK. There is a loud train sound where I am, but you know, that's why I'm using my headphones. So if you hear anything trucking, just know that, okay, pardon me, but I am here with my full chest. Thank you, thank you. I see you in the chat. Tell me if you can hear me clearly. I want to be sure that you can. Can you hear me clearly? Yes or no? Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Fantastic. So please, how do you want this to run before I just go? How do you want this to go? I want to follow protocol.
Let's go. So what we usually do is just ask people to drop questions in the chat, and then we'll pick it up. So it's up to you if you want to talk for some time, pause, take some questions, or just run through and then take questions, maybe 15 minutes to 7, up to you.
Okay,
just,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So this topic, it's very dear to my heart for many reasons, but I think that one of the most critical reasons is just the fact that, especially as women, there's just so many things that we are to other people, to the people in our lives. We are, I mean, multiple roles. There's mother, there's wife, there's friend, there's lover, there is auntie, there is sister, there is so many things. And in those roles, we're typically multifaceted. I'm going to tell you how this is going to run. So typically, I'm just going to talk for a few minutes and, you know, just to expatiate on what the topic really is, unmasked, and how to really understand what roles are, how to realize where you are. Because a lot of times we are in certain spaces and we don't even realize what is happening. We just feel discomfort. I always say that discomfort is the pointer to the things to come. So every time we begin to feel uncomfortable, and uncomfortable can be in a positive way or in a way that is not so positive in our own perspective. So uncomfortable can be boredom, uncomfortable can be monotony, Uncomfortable can be, um, should I say, comfort? Uncomfortable can be, I've got this all figured out, but okay, what next? Uncomfortable can be so many things. But in those spaces, it calls for attention. And typically, I think I just want to start by understanding what roles are, and how they form. So there's a difference between identity and a role. People, or I mean, every time I teach or I talk, people say things like, "Oh, I'm trying to find my purpose. I'm on a purpose journey. I'm seeking, so many things. My identity is, and they build their identities around structures. So when you build, so think of it this way. This is how I teach it. And I say, if identity is built around a structure, like, okay, your identity, like you're a mom, you are a friend, or you are the MD of this, or you're a business owner of that, that cannot be your identity. That is a role. So I think that that's a clear distinction, is that roles are things that you do or how you express yourself in the world. Your expression itself is your identity, and your expression comes from a source, and that source is a source of being. So it means that what is unique about being me? How do I interact in the world? So it is typically in giftings, in abilities, in talents. And the more grounded you are in your gifting, abilities, talents, and what is unique about being you, the more, should I say, aware, confident, powerful you are in the world, because it would inform how you express yourself. And your expression on these roles now makes you so powerful in them, because you are coming with your greatest powers, your greatest strengths, you know um and this is how, like, I'm going to call you Madam She Blooms here intentionally. How Duque has said, this works is that, please, if you have questions, just drop them in as I'm speaking. When I'm done, I will um, take all the questions together. So once, as I'm speaking, if you have any questions, just drop it down. And there is no right or wrong question. There is no silly or exorbitant or unnecessary. Just because I'm here today, I'm here for you. First off, I want you to know that because you are in this room, there is something that is set aside for you, and that you listen out for it. So you listen for what I'm saying, and you listen for what I'm not saying. What I'm not saying are the things that are peculiar to you. And it's that in the things that I'm saying, you may have a question. So what I'm not saying is what you should ask, so that you can get clarity that you need on your journey. So understanding roles, first thing is identity and role. I think I have sort of like um, made a quick comparison between that. But what I also find is that sometimes they become intertwined by so many things outside of us. And these things can be anything from culture to environment to origin. And when I say origin, you were born in this place, to this family. This is how we do in our home. The girl doesn't do that. A boy is supposed to do this. Those things, generational expectations, and just different things that come in our path on our journey that had nothing to do with us. We just landed on the face of this earth, and we were given to a particular set of people. Now, your responsibility in growing your identity is in you committing to your essence. And your essence is what is unique about being you, your talents, your giftings, your abilities. And your commitment to them is upscaling, um, becoming more self-aware, asking yourself those questions. Why did I behave like this in this place? What made me react like that? And then you realize that, oh, it's because I felt small. What made me feel small? It's called self introspection. So, those are things that lead you on the path of, should I say, your own highest being, that you shed, the weights of culture, of gender, of expectations, of origin on your way, because they would always be there. So, what sets you apart? I'm going back to it and I'm explaining as I'm going. is that you are gifted, you are born with your giftings, your abilities, what is unique about being you. It is, how do I know this? I mean, if you've ever interacted with a child, And, you know, even when they have the same mother or the same father, they have some nuances. Just know that this child responds this way at a very early stage. You can see it. You know that. And so that's how you know that this one was not taught this. This one came with certain things, from characteristics to personality to oomph, spunk. They're just certain things. Some children are just generally more reserved than others. Some are generally, so as they begin to grow and they interact with the world in culture, in gender, in expectations, it either propels them or pulls them back. So it is their responsibility as they grow to begin to identify what is unique about being me. What do people compliment about me? The people that are my friends, the people that are in my circle, the people that need my help, what do they come to me for? That is the essence of you. That is where your identity stems from. Now you begin to operate in your highest capacity when you are able to shift and move and say, this one is not working for me in this season. Drop, pick another thing up. This is, and that you guide and guard your essence so that in your expressions in the world that you are expressing at your highest capabilities and capacities. So that is, you know, understanding roles, what they are, how they form. Then the other thing is maybe what were you expected to be before you even knew who you were? So this question, what were you expected to be before you even knew who you were? So sometimes, I mean, as simple as this is, have you ever heard it when they say, ah, me, I want a boy, I want a boy, I want a boy. And then the child comes and the child is a girl, right? You see that they begin to adjust expectations. So it's very, that's why it's our formative years as children. You know, there's some things that form who we become as adults. But I have a twist to that, and my twist is that we need to begin to look at those things as gifts, and not as stumbling blocks. They're gifts because is a casing. Like you came with your giftings and all that, but you were dropped in a casing so that your experience could be different. And when you come out of that casing, it is that you're taking the gems from it and you're saying, how am I able to interpret all of these things in the world such that I become value to other people? Let me give you an example. What does that mean? Some people really have some horrendous stories, like horrendous. You would not even believe it. Horrendous stories. And those stories are the things that their world needs from them. That is the change and the shift they have come into the world with. Now, except they're able to accept it as a gem, as a gift, they will not be able to interpret it in the world and they become lost. They become complainants. You see those people that are always grumbling, always saying, you know, always blaming other people for their misfortune, always, it is from you not realizing that your casing, which you had nothing to do with, I mean, you had nothing. You didn't say, oh, this is who I want to be born to. Oh, this is going to be my sibling. Oh, this is what my parents are going to have. But you see, when you come of age, when you come of age, then you need to understand that you have to shed some personal roles. I mean, you have to shed some roles and return to who you were from the beginning. And who you were from the beginning is in a place of talents, giftings, abilities. And some have more than others. But guess what? Is in the multiplication of what you are that you expand in the world. So if you do not multiply what you have, even if it is small, you cannot become in the world, right? When your role becomes the identity, a lot of people are walking roles like their identity. So you you lose your job. Suddenly you don't know who you are anymore. Okay, I don't know, because you have built your identity around a role. You lose something, grief, pain, extreme highs, extreme highs of wealth, of influence. All of a sudden, you're just somebody where all of us are like, ah, we can't interact with you in the world again because something has shifted. guess what? You have built your identity around a role. And in those spaces, you need to begin to ask yourself questions. I think that for the women on this call, even though I have never met you before and I don't know you, this is why I'm saying that you listen for what I'm saying and what I'm not saying. And the things I'm not saying are the things that you need to draw out for yourself in questions. Now, this particular environment, I'm assuming that you are in diaspora, you're in the United Kingdom, you are in America, or you're wherever, you're outside your natural habitat, we have to perform to almost survive. You're performing things, you're showing up as a particular person because this is how it's done here. You are becoming certain things because this is the only way I can rise or I can thrive in this space, right? And it's almost like this is what I have to do. But when you start feeling this discomfort of, is there more? Oh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm just so many things in between, that those are the moments for you to start pausing and asking yourself questions and saying, who am I, or who do I need to be in this season? So this is the question we really need to ask ourselves, that on our roles, am I just giving and giving and giving to other people? And in giving to other people, who am I? Do I recognize myself in this? Am I just floating and living pillar to post? When I say pillar to post, it can be as simple as work to home, church to home, home to work. It's like a triangle. How am I expressing in the world? Who knows me? And when I say knows me, knows what value that I really bring. How am I shifting things? How am I changing things? How am I achieving purpose? So now purpose is not something you seek. Purpose is not something you chase after. Purpose is something that finds you in the place of being. So purpose can only find you when you are expressing your highest self, when you are gifting, when you are sharing, when you are lifting, when you are showing up in your power. And your power is your abilities, your skills. That when people hear you, they come to you for solutions, that you are a solution point. And guess what? You have certain solutions that people are looking for, but you are locked up in activity. There's too much happening in your life. So you cannot even strip. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's even get past this one first. I beg, I beg. Let's even, like, I can't even see. I can't even be lifting anybody out of anything because myself, I need lifting. Purpose cannot find you there. Because let me give you an example of how purpose finds you. Give me a quick second. I need to leave a message for someone. You guys are drawing some things here because I'm feeling emotional, and that's for somebody. Okay. There are some certain people here, and I can feel it. You're really feeling overwhelmed in your life. And the only thing I have to say to you, I'm not saying stop, I'm saying pause. So my word to you is pause. Just pause. Because you may be afraid of stopping altogether. Like, if I stop, things will break, everything will scatter. No problem. But you need to pause. And pause to ask yourself pertinent questions. Before I leave today, I'll give you some questions. And if you have anything, I'm expecting that you'll ask me. And if that speaks to you, please ask me questions. I'm here for you today. Let me give you an example of how purpose finds you. So for instance, if you are a lawyer and you are in the courtroom, a case is going on, you're doing your normal court work and everything, but you actually have some serious expertise in, let's say, first aid, for want of a better thing. You have serious, not small expertise, like it's not even like as if you trained professionally. So you're not trained professionally, but it's something that you know how to do, and You have been in sort of situations, so and you know how to do it. All right, so that's fine. And as you are in this doing your normal role, right, speaking and all that, somebody is having a seizure, serious seizure. Now, purpose in that minute is calling for you, but you don't have to answer it. You don't. You know what will stop you from answering it? You will say to yourself, I'm not qualified. Okay. Am I first aid? Do I have any certification? Nobody even knows. So I can just sit here and be looking. Nobody's going to know. Anyway, I don't owe anybody. But you see, purpose will find you in the place of you saying, this is a matter of life and death. I'm going to change something. I'm going to shift something. And I'm not going to be afraid that, and then you're going to start hearing voices. If the person dies, they will say it's you. If something, purpose will find you in the place of saying, I'm actually skilled at this. If this happens, this is the next thing to do. And then you move. You know what happens? The person is saved. Guess what? You don't start seeing people start saying, oh, this person is this. I just want you to speak to me about this. I don't have the courage for this. I know how to do this. And before you know what's happening, or you have been called to speak to a group of people who are whatever, purpose has just found you. That's how purpose finds you. You don't look for it. It finds you in the place of being or becoming. So the more you put yourself only in roles, the more you lose yourself. Do we have any questions yet? I'm not even looking. I'm just talking.
Not yet. Just drop your questions. People are just soaking it in. So,
are you people? Ladies, are you here? You know what? This is what I'm going to do. If you are here, give me a word. Just give me a word. Any word. Just say maybe yes. Yes, the word is yes. Put it in the chat box so I know that you're here. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. If I don't see yes, I'm not going. Anyway, I'm not saying one more thing. I'm not talking. I'm saying one more. Fantastic. No, yes, yes, yes. I'm saying more
yes.
yes.
Okay, we've got a copy. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I see you. I see you. I see you. Fantastic. I see you. Okay, I see. So I think I have spoken about, understanding rules, what they are, how they form, um, asking yourself the pertinent question, what were you expected to be before you even knew who you were? Now, the other thing is in your adult life, some of us are still running on scripts of expectations, where whether it's societal, whether it's family, whether it is even expectations or that you have placed on yourself based off of things that you have picked up, like I should be doing this by this time. I'm supposed to be this by this. There's the whole people pleasing. There's the whole also wanting to become like other people because of pressure. You may say, that's not me. I don't have such things. Let me give you an example. You realize that amongst your friends, maybe people are buying houses, they're doing things, they're whatever, and you know within yourself, here's the thing. So maybe people are doing certain things and you don't realize it, but it's almost like because it's in a circle, you feel like, why not? But you find yourself struggling under those things. You find yourself just struggling. And peace is a sign of peace is a sign that you are in the right place. You are doing the right thing. But so is chaos. Sometimes, people just think that unless hey, I had peace about it, so I knew. Sometimes it may be chaos that you have about it that tells you, okay, I'm in the right place. What do I mean? So, sometimes you know that there's some things I should be doing. I actually should be doing this thing. Then you just realize that there's chaos, so many things, but you're not doing it. So you know that, okay. At the same time, some things that you know that you should be doing, and everything is just coasting. It's peace in a nutshell. However, there are just certain places that you are or certain things that you hear that you know that you could have done something about or that you can do something about. So it becomes almost a personal turmoil that you brush off and say, well, it's not as if I don't do it, nothing will happen. If, it's not as if I'm under pressure. It's not, so it's not until things are stuttering, everything is shaking before you know that, I need to do something. Or it's not because everything is perfect, seems perfect. That means that I'm in a perfect place. Have you seen how? I'm just going to use, because I'm a person of faith, I'm just going to use a random, you know, explanation of how some people don't even know. Like maybe you are king, or you are like the, but you don't even know that you don't have authority again. Everything is okay. People are still greeting you. People are still bowing down because you still have the role, you still have the title. But the authority of that role has been lifted. It has changed. There's seemingly peace around you. What am I saying? I'm saying that we all come to moments of awakening when we need to tell ourselves, there's you have to tell yourself the truth and say that I'm no longer in alignment. There are just certain things that it just is not for me again. You can't be coasting because this is how they are doing it. But let me just, I don't really want to, but, let me give him. It's okay, we can do it. Then, there's some things that feel false with you. They just don't. And there were things that fit before. It's not as if, and they don't have to be terrible things. It's just that it makes no meaning to you anymore in your life. Just anything. I'm talking about shedding rules and returning to yourself, to your most authentic self. There's just certain things that used to fit that just suddenly feel mundane. And it can be even activity, it can be things that you're doing, it can be things that you're doing for other people, it can be things that you're doing for yourself. They're typically roles. They, how do you come to moments of awakening? Is when you start asking yourself the questions of what what's usefulness? Like, okay, should I? It's almost like when I tell people that it's not every conversation that demands your response. It's not um everything that you give yourself to. Your breath is almost like your highest power. What do I mean? Without your breath, you are not alive. Like that's your highest power. And so the things that you give your voice to, the things that you give your is almost like you're giving your life source, your energy, like is your breath. By breath, that is how we knew that okay, humans are people are alive. So you can't be exasperated over everything if the end goal is going nowhere. Why are we, you can't be. And then it's just like when you are anxious. I mean, I always say to people that your breath is, you have to be careful how you give your breath. And your give your breath is in advice, is in words that you say, is in people that you speak with, is in the things that you share, is in, you know, why am I saying this? I'm saying that, there's some things that just drain, whether you see it or you don't, it makes you less. There's some conversations you should not be having. And whether they say that, you know, that's how we fit into roles. We just carry some things out. And they say, what's always wrong with you? You're always feeling like, that's all right. In time, they'll get it that, okay, it's just that you can't engage with this thing. What is at stake? Why should you? Well, okay, if I don't, what will happen? If the world is going to fall if I don't, hey, but if nothing will happen, why? Why are you engaging? Why? What's happening? So it's like, I say that check yourself when you're really angry. There's no way that you have a calm breathing. You can't. If you decide to talk at that time, that's when you will know that you have given your breath in, like you can almost like feel it physically. What am I saying? I'm saying that we need moments of awakening when we realize that there are just certain things that we don't give ourselves to. We don't give our life source to. We don't give our energy to. Um, and then that leads us to a process of shedding. You cannot shed except you awaken. So there's so many things we are carrying, but we're lying to ourselves. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I beg, moving on. I have other things, or it doesn't. Until you are able to get to a moment of awakening when you tell yourself, this thing, this person, this space, or things I should be doing, things I should not be doing, where I should be going, where I should, those things. When you come to moments of awakening, then you are able to enter a process of shedding. So unless you are awakening, you are unable to shed. Now, what do you shed? You shed grief. You shed emotions. What do I mean? Grief. So, sometimes you can carry grief in your body, grief of something that you've lost. Now, if you have lost it, you have to come to a place of gratitude that you had it in the first place. Everything that we have was gifted to us. It is not your person. It's you didn't. Yeah, everything that you have was given. Now, there's a word that I have come to believe in my life, and it is I lose nothing. And what does that even mean? Like if you're a person of faith, it makes it things easier. But even if you are not, if you don't believe in anything, that would be difficult to do. But even if you are not, right? They're just things that in your life you have to know that things are not happening against me. You cannot live in a world as a victim. You cannot, because everything you just keep taking the hit. You just keep holding it in your body as grief, as fear, as rejection, as so many things. You have to look at them with a different light. You have to interrogate it and say, what can I take out of this thing? What gift is available for me in this thing? It cannot be that it's against me. No, it's teach. What is it in that place? Then what could I have done differently? What can I change? What can I? And then if you find that there is nothing, that you leave it, you release, you release it and leave it there and say, you know what? I may not understand it. I may not, and it's okay. See, there's some things that you will never understand. Make peace with it. Otherwise, in your life, you're just going to be disgruntled. You're going to be happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, there is not everything you can understand. Just make peace with it and find you're never stuck. You're never without options. What is the next thing? What can I do next? And there's also the place of who can help me, that you receive help. It's not everything that you're able to solve by yourself. And that's why it's very critical that you surround yourself again with help. Like you don't want to be in a position of distress and then realize that you don't have help around you. That's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to grow yourself in a way that you surround yourself with help in people. Yeah. So I'm talking about process of shedding. I think I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I think I have a few more, like 5 or so more minutes. So moments of awakening, process of shedding. Um, that you create spaces for yourself to be alive. So simple things. I always ask myself, what gives me joy? You know, that you pay attention to yourself when you are in certain places or when you're doing certain things. And if it brings you joy, that you note it down and that you create, cycles, repeated cycles of those things. I didn't say happiness, so they're two different. Joy. Joy is something that, it comes from within you. It's not a function of because this is happening, because that is happening. It is irrespective that and the more you have happy spaces, the more joy flows within you so that you create room for your best self. You don't put yourself in positions where you always feel less, put yourself in positions where you always have to explain, put yourself, so you always have to find a way to put yourself in positions of your highest being, your highest authority, places that lift you, people that excite you, ideas that get you going, work that keeps you alive. You don't go into monotony because you will be dead in your mind, in your creative energy would not flow. And you are built for creativity naturally, actually. Your natural essence is creativity. People say, oh, I'm not a creative. Well, I'm not creative. Not true. Your very essence is creativity. Look at your nails. When they break, they grow. Your very essence is your hair. You don't know how it moves. You are full of growth. You are full of creation. You are creating. So your mind that's created something yesterday. Your mind creates things. You imagine something as simple as I'm going to have a party next week. I'm going to call this. Oh, that's creativity. You don't know. But the same energy that you use to create those things, you can create the life that you want. But you also have to put yourself in spaces that doesn't drain your natural creativity. Your natural creativity is your sense of self, how you feel about yourself. Um, what you hear, what you feel, what you see, the things that carry you in your everyday. If they are not things that lift you, you are draining yourself of creative energy, of being able to attract the life that you want. The more powerful, the more magnetic you are. And when I use the word magnetic, I use it loosely. And remember when I started in the beginning, I was talking about identity. The more grounded you are in your identity, the more magnetic you are. Have you met people that you can't forget? You can't forget them. And it's not because they are loud or anything. It's because there was just something about them. That something is guiding their natural state, their state of being, their state of graciousness, for want of a better word, where you don't have airs, you're not putting up things so that they don't say, can you come? Please, can you show up? Show up, and stop covering yourself with all sorts of, let me not be like this, so that let it not do like this. I mean, the more you do that, the more you lose yourself. You and be comfortable with rejection. Rejection is a sign that, okay, you know what, you can't be for everybody. It's okay. you know Accept that you can't be for everybody. You will be for some, and the people that you are for, they have to hear you and recognize you, and they can't recognize you if you are not showing up, right? You can't. And this leads to things from, I teach from what, branding to visibility to, when I say branding, I think that personal branding is dead. I believe that we're in the era of inner wisdom and magnetism. Because if you look at personal branding in the structure, oh, do it like this, talk like this, ChatGPT, it's wear color, do this. Anybody can do that. But the era of inner wisdom is the era of what is unique about being you. What are your thoughts? I always say that you cannot be a thought leader if you don't have a thought. What are you leading? If you do not know the sound of your own voice, you do not know what your values really are, that when you contribute in a discussion, that you are leading with your thoughts and not the thoughts of generations, or not the thoughts of culture and society and tribe and religion. You know, I think I've gone into some other spaces, but okay. So I'm just going to wrap this up um, by saying that, two things. I'm going to leave you with two questions for yourself, and to say something like, what roles am I playing now that no longer serve me in this season of my life? What roles am I playing now that no longer serve me in this season of my life? And, I think I've described or explained what roles are. And if you don't understand, please, this will be the time to put down your questions. And the second thing is, um, mm, like, if I have the courage to actually take all of this off, who am I? What is important to me? What is unique about being me? I think that this is, this set of questions. I know I said two, but this second one, treat them as these second ones, these three that I said, treat them as one question. When I say, if I take off, all of these things, all of this mask, all of these rules, all of this showing, all of this pretending, all of this showing off for other people, doing this, doing all that. Who am I beneath all of that? What is unique about being me? I think that, knowing this will help you to show up in the world as those things. That's why I think of it. I mean, it's very simple. Like I said, the people that are friends with you, why are they friends with you? Maybe like the closest relationship, maybe if you are married, what was it about you that, the person was drawn to? It's a seed in your identity, is a seed of your very essence, and that those are things that you're supposed to show up in the world as, that you build them as structures, you build them into different, some people have different talents. Like we're gifted differently. Some of us we have one, some have five, some have 10. But it's in how you show up in your essence that you expand in the world with these things. So I think my final words would be, you know, there's a kind of exhaustion that comes from just doing, that you need to learn to shed the weight so that you can just be. You need to move from doing to being. Being is showing up in your highest abilities, in your power, in your grace, giving room for other people. You know, sometimes you just look at them and look at them with grace and realize that, see, understanding some things I just can't engage in, I can't give breast to because you're in a different time space, you're in a different time zone. When I say time, I mean time, time of seasons, time of life. People are in different seasons, and it's not a function of age, it's a function of life, life experiences and purpose. Some people, you know, have said yes to purpose so many times that they have accelerated. They have accelerated and they're in spaces where you think that you're friends or you think that people are equal. No, you're not. And see, they don't have to, what I'm saying to you is that you don't have to engage with the people that don't, because they are beneath you. And that's the truth. They are beneath you. So what you have to do is to exercise, you know, show grace. It's not in meddling words or whatever. It's in grace for understanding, because they don't understand the time and the season that you're in, right? Um, so who are you underneath? Um, who do you need to become? I think is the most critical question. What is working for you? What is serving you now? And for where you want to be, first of all, I hope that you know where you want to be. I hope that you can vision. That's a different kettle of fish, but you know, that you choose to be, instead of doing. Thank you very much. I am done for the day. Are you still here?
Wow.
We're still here. Fantastic.
Wow. 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 So, questions. Thank you very much, YVP. Of course, I'm going to listen to the recording again. But so, any questions? So many things to take in. So no one is dropping any question. Do you want to unmute? Are there any hands up? Everybody is just soaking it in.
Dear, so can I speak?
Oh yes, please go.
Thank you so much, YBB. This is really enriching. I think for me, a lot of these things I have heard, right? Some of which I practice as much as I can. But stepping into these rooms, I feel is always advantageous because sometimes it's just about, just hearing it again and reinforcing what we already believe in. And so when you were talking about stripping oneself of roles to be able to figure out what one's identity is as a person, that really landed with me. And I feel like, and I think it's not a gender, male, female thing, it's everyone. But I do think that there is a particular thing around women taking on so much, the wife and the mother, and and perhaps the director in the office or the manager. And I do know that a lot of women, even people I know personally, tend to struggle with that. And it's always, oh, my husband this, my child this. And sometimes I ask, what about you? You as a person, who are you? What are you about? What are your likes, right? And the thing you also said about, just sometimes chaos is actually the sign that you need to take the next step, to even slow down and ask yourself those questions. And the thing I want to say to everyone is, occasionally just take that step back. It could be every few weeks, it could be once a quarter, once in 6 months, to just breathe and say, okay, where am I at? What's going on within me? Because I also realize that sometimes as people, it's difficult to just be in touch with ourselves. And for a lot of people, there's a consumption around activities and productivity that doesn't allow for time to go through introspection and reflection and to check in with our emotions. And that might look for some people like just things just pausing or changing of seasons, because you talked about losing one's job and being like, oh my goodness, who am I? But it's about like just taking a step back and constantly imbibing that practice of introspection and reflection, so that we continue to understand who we are as people, whether it is we're taking on many roles or whether it is we're just there in a season where we do not have so many things to do in terms of the role play, pretty much. So thank you so much, and thank you, DSO, for anchoring beautifully as you always do.
Thank you. So any questions? Anyone want to say anything? YB, I think I just want you to shed some more light on. So you said at times chaos can be it. So, most of the time, all we hear is, oh, if you have peace about it, then that's it. So how can chaos be it? Like, how can you tell it is it, whether it is in peace or chaos? Like,
So I think that the first thing is, what is peace? What does peace really mean? I think that we first of all need to define different things for ourselves. The person that spoke now, she said something about, you just think it's different for women. Women go through, so many things because they are doing these roles and doing that roles. It's because you're a woman that you understand that. But if the man tells you what roles he does too, and how he actually has nothing for himself, especially if he's like a father and a husband, everything that he's doing, working his entire life, is for his family. He's doing nothing else. There's nothing for him in it. How many women have wills that they're willing to children and willing to? How many, women are, and I'm not talking about the responsible man. I'm saying that a man that he just says, I'm my family. So it is that, what is peace for you? What is chaos? That we need to begin to not generalize. You see, there are just so many general terms. Once you have peace about it, I've seen people that have had peace about certain things, but fire was burning and they interpreted it as peace. So chaos for me, let me give you an example. Chaos for me is when maybe you guys are, so for instance, you're trying to get somewhere. And everything is stopping you from getting there. So maybe you try to get on the bus broke down. You try to go to kick, it fell down. That's absolute chaos. But you know what? That may be a sign that, you see, every resistance because you are onto something. So, look at it again in like, okay, you're trying to apply for something. You know that you have, it's just that day the lights went out. That day you try to, and then some people in the middle of that, they say, well, this thing is too stressful, and they drop it. But guess what? It may have needed just one more push, just one more. And you know what? Let me just push this one time, and then you click it. As you click it, everything opens. So it is not that we say, peace is a sign of chaos is a sign of. I'm saying that lose all of these inhibitions and all of these structures of, if this is equal to that, that is equal to this. If man is this, that means he's this. If there 2 years means that 3 years, no. But you find your own way. You sit with it and say, me. And there's always, before we know where we are going, we have to know where we are coming from. So there's always lessons from the past that you can, and we are always surrounded by guides and, so many things. There's so many things I can say, but I have to leave in a few minutes. So I hope that sort of like explain what I mean by sometimes chaos is.
Yeah. Someone said stop. They'll say it's village people. Yeah,
but,
just
it's those things, it's those things.
Okay, so any more questions before we round this up? Okay, I've got a hand up.
Is a man.
AKG.
Oh, okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, ma. Can you hear me clearly, ma?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can. Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you so much. It's always like a pleasure to listen to you. Thank you so much for all you do with regard to identity and just the question basically is that what do you do when you felt like you have a lot of things that you want to do, but to on the other hand, you might not necessarily like have the resources to do those things yet. And then a lot of people tell you like it is someone that probably make it that can give back. So is it possible to be on your way to like getting the things you want and still try as much as possible to give back?
Okay. Thank you for your question. First off, I'm going to define what give back means. Give back is in your every single day. Again, we have all of these prescriptions of what give back looks like. Give back is in your everyday. As you are being, you are giving back in the sense that you are giving back when you speak to somebody in a way that lifts them. You are giving back when instead of a certain thing that is expected of you, you do something else. We assume that it has to be, again, like I said, there's so many scripts playing in our world. Oh, until you set up a foundation for, until you see, we are gifted differently. Not everybody is going to speak to 1,000 people. Not everybody is going, but in your space, with what you have been given, what are you doing with it? What is in your hands? And what are you doing with it? He that is faithful in little will be faithful in much. You cannot be assigned onto bigger things if you have not worked your way in smaller things. So let's first of all go out of that giving back. The other thing is this. We are gifted differently. We have more, some of us are multi-potentialized. That means you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. But I always say you have to start from somewhere. And see, when you start a thing, you will know when it's time for the next one. You know why? The next one will meet you where you are. It will call for you. So, especially when I'm talking to like younger people, I don't know, age bracket and all of that, life goals, life bracket. When you're talking to younger people, there are certain things you have to understand stages in life, like they're called times and they're called seasons. What is in your hand right now? What do you need? There's some people that say, "Oh, I want to start doing this," and I say, "Do you have any money? Do you have any savings? Be realistic. Get a job. Stop playing." That's not when you start saying, "Oh, I'm actually a speaker. I do this and all of that." I don't understand. Do you have where to live? Do you have what to eat? Settle those things first. You see, all other things will come. Do like there's an order of things. You cannot be subservient. You cannot be subservient in your own life and think that you will have any power in this world. I always say that there are two things. Money is a tool. You must have it. Forget anything that they tell you. You must. It's a tool. There's so many people that say, well, I'm not really, money is not a thing to me. It had better be a thing because it's a mode of exchange in this world. And if you really want to have impact and influence, it has to be beyond, oh, come and pray for me. Some days, some prayers, it's not prayer. They will never see God except as they see you in that moment when you say, you know what, how much did it take? It's not, oh, let me lay hands on you. Come on. It's beyond that, that you have influence and impact. It requires a certain discipline from you, a discipline of being, wealthy in people and resources, that you grow relationships, that you serve in those relationships, and that you're not always taking and taking. I need you to do something for me. Please, can you mentor me? No. What are you going to give? That is giving back. And so when you have multi-talents that you look at them and you say, which one can give me what I need in this moment to start from there? This one, okay, if I do this one, is it a passion project or do people need it? Always start with what people need. Because what people need is where value is. And that's where they will pay. Or that's where they will gravitate towards. So some people can say, this now, I don't really like doing this thing. No, I prefer to do that. But are people asking for that thing? Forget yourself and do that what they're asking for in that moment. Because you're not in the world for yourself. You're in the world for the world. You were gifted to the earth. You are gifted to serve in the earth. So you serve with what you have been given, but what they want. So you choose that one first and say, okay. So when I'm like working with people on identity and gifting and showing up in the world, We look at what it is that you know, then what you want, what you're able to gift, what you're able to share, and what has value. You start with that first. That one will lead you to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. So it's not that you just carry everything together. You just, you collapse under the weight. I hope that has, quickly
Yeah.
done that.
Thank you. I know you need to go.
Yes,
Thank you. Please just, drop some emojis for YBB. She's having a session on the 23rd of August in Paddington. And it's on my status just for anyone who wants to soak in some more. It's an all-day session. So if you're interested, please let me know. Thanks, YBB. Always.
Thank you so much. Thank
to
you so
have
much. Let me just say, ladies, gentlemen, whatever you learned, whatever you picked up here, tag me on Instagram. That's where I am, to be honest. Put it on your story, say a word, say something, leave me a message. I can connect with you on those platforms. Thank you, dear, so much for this opportunity. I do not take it for granted. I am having a session, a full day, intimate, transformative session on the 23rd of August. It's called The Reveal. It's particularly for the Nigerian in the diaspora. I'm not playing about who I'm talking to, because as a Nigerian, you have an excellent spirit. You have a power and a pride that the rest of Africa is still trying to understand. Your identity as a Nigerian is what shapes certain things in your world. Now, when you are in the diaspora, sometimes you forget who you are, because there are roles, there are things that you have to be. But you see, you have to come to a place of awakening when you say, I am in my highest season. Who do I need to be now? And so the reveal is for professionals, it's for career people, creatives, entrepreneurs, founders who are resident abroad, who are Nigerian. It's also open to Africans, but my main priority is my people, my tribe, my home, Nigerians. And if this has any meaning or strikes any chord, just say yes. Don't ask questions. Find it. I'll send the message. I mean, obviously, DSO has it. Find it. Lock yourself in. Tell your friends. Tell your people. You want to surround yourself with people that have like a clear vision, so that it's not difficult for you as you walk in life, that you have guides and you have, support, like-minded people. That's what it is. I will be grateful to have you there. It's in person, 23rd of August, 9 to about 6. See you. Thank you so much, people.
Thanks, YBB. Thank you. Love you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Catch you later.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.